Hey, here's a tip for you when you're painting. Remember, if you were with me initially coming in here to do some cleanup and stuff after the tenant moved out, the tenant decided to do me a favor. He spackled every single one of the little nail holes, okay? One little dinky nail hole, this much spackle around it because he used a putty knife, and he's got these all over the place, and I've already cleaned off some of these, and there used to be a couple spackle holes on here, and I cleaned them off, and there was a big huge one here, all because he was covering that. And I went through there, and just stick with me, and I'm going to share a tip with you. The reason why when I paint walls I paint them with eggshell is because you can clean them. You can clean them off and stuff. Let's see if we can see some other spots. See, here's a spot right there he did. There's a couple above the bed. Here's my word. Here's all kinds of them along here. You see that? And in order for me to paint over this, I would have to put 2 coats of paint on here, because if you put 1 coat of paint on here and call it good, as you stand back over here, you're going to see just like this. Oh yeah, there it is. There. Even though you use the same exact paint that came out of the same paint bucket a couple years ago, and you found the same paint, you were lucky enough to find it in the garage, and you mix it up and you put it on there, you're still going to flash like that unless you put 2 coats exactly over this area. And then your second coat, if you put 1 coat on here, let it dry, then you have to remember where those are, you'll find them. And then you put another coat and taper it over it. Everything on the taper on top of this first coat is going to have 2 coats on it. So you're still going to see all of these marks unless you paint this entire wall. And I've got a tip here for you. If you find some spackle, if you find people doing spackle in your rooms, okay, and I thought I would try it, and it's working out really good. And so anytime I have something I think you're going to want to see and you're going to benefit from, I'm going to show it. Okay, so we're going to come back over here, and I'm going to take my simple green and a wet sponge. My simple green and just a damp sponge. Let's get the one right above that light switch, shall we? Okay, so I'm just going to spray a little bit, and I'm taking off all of the spackle all around the spray texture. Rinse off my sponge with my bucket, get some clean water on there. Okay, now do you see how much easier it's going to be for me to touch that up? Look at that. Let's see, here's the light switch, that one hole. All I have to do is dab just a little bit, ka-doink, and I could take a little artist brush or anything like that, or just a little throwaway paintbrush, which I have, and I'm just going to use the tip of it at the angle. Doink, 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 doink. That's it. And then coming back at it, if I have to do that again, it's better than doing an entire little patch. Do you see what I'm saying? A little paint there, a little paint there, a little paint there, a little paint there. Okay, I'm gonna do these other 4. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? And no matter how good you put the spackle on with the putty knife, it's going to get into all your nodules of your spray texture if you have a spray texture wall such as this. Okay? Now, could you do that with a flat paint on a wall? Yeah, probably, but then you might mark it up. You might mark it up a little bit. That one, I think I put caulking on it because he had missed one. Okay? And so this is going to make my paint touch up way quicker, way easier, just to find these little spots. All right? That way I can just dab just a hair there, and it's not gonna flash around there. Hey, if you've ever tried to patch little spackle areas, you're gonna know what I'm talking about, okay? And so if somebody does an oopsie on you, or maybe you wanna put spackle because you don't have any caulking, you wanna put spackle, let it dry, and wipe it off like this. I guess you could. But why not just put why not just put a little bit of caulking on there? But see, that just gets your spackle right in the screw hole, and that's it. So yes, spend a little time, and if you want to do the spackle, I gotta get my little step ladder. If you want to use the spackle, go ahead and use the spackle. And then I wouldn't use the lightweight spackle. I would use the other stuff that dries. You know, not the lightweight. Don't get that stuff that's called lightweight spackle. Okay? Get the other stuff. You can get it, it's pink, and then when it dries clear. Look at that. And that's just gonna make it way, way better, man. I was kind of dreading doing all the paint touch-up, thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to do 2 coats over that, and then as I stand back, I'll be like, I'm not even gonna look at the walls. Hey, it is what it is. I did the best I could because somebody spackled up all the screw holes, all the nail holes from pictures and so forth. Okay, so there's hardly anything on this wall now. A couple little nail holes with a little spackle just inside the actual little hole. You know, no way underneath this green earth that you could put spackle just on a little screw hole without taking it off like that. Okay. Now I'm just gonna wipe off here. Well, that's why I like this eggshell finish. I always like to do interior walls with eggshell because it gives it just a slight sheen. Eggshell, I call it eggshell. It's an actual color. I mean, it's not a color. You can get a color called eggshell, but this is the actual paint. It's eggshell, and then they tint it to whatever color you want. Or you can get satin finish. It just gives a low sheen on your walls. It gives it, when the sun hits it, it lights up your room a little bit. Don't use semi-gloss because then that's gonna show everything's gonna be too hospital-y. You know what I mean? And now see this wall here? Doesn't that look a whole lot better when I get ready to do my touch-up? In fact, there's some holes that he did that are so small that after I did it, I could hardly even tell where they were. And he's got a couple. There was a couple up in here. I think there was one right there. And so all I have to do is walk around, and after this dries and stuff, before I do it, I'll put a little blue piece of tape just above it, just a little rip. And so I'll know that the holes are just below the blue tape, and then I'll just dab it and then pull the blue tape off. Okay? And that's how you can do that. And it's a good way before you do paint touch-up, all right? I just thought of one more thing. Because these areas here might show up, okay? They might show up around there. And because the light is coming in this room, you can always see over there. But those marks You're never going to see the mark over there that I cleaned off. You're never going to see those two that I cleaned off, because you're not going to get the sun, depending on how your room is, you're never going to get the sun hitting this wall here. So you could look off it to the left, like that, to the right, down on the bed. Maybe you'll never see those. Maybe you'll never see this one. These, I'm sure I'm going to have to paint around those little scuff marks, okay? But the areas that I did downstairs, and you just have to pinpoint. See in here? No sunlight is ever going to get in this room. This is as much light as you're going to get in this room. So you're going to have to make the determination on your own. No more sunlight in this room, okay? There's hardly any sun that's going to come through these windows, all right? So if there's a mark like that, like from that other room over here, you're never going to see it. Do you see what I mean? So you got to pick and choose which areas you've got to paint all the way, which areas you can leave alone, you know, for this particular instance. Okay, that's it.